Now you thought I was just 7-7.
Oh, you would.
I'm worldwide. Bitch, act like y'all know it's the abominable man. Globe Trot International Postman. Neighbor Dick Dope Man.
All right, what's up, everybody? I'm Sabrae.
Yatta.
Sean.
And this is a No Disclaimers podcast. Okay, it's just us today. Is it week?
No, his No Disclaimers podcast.
I know.
And it was all
If it's sultry voice.
312-313.
Yeah, it's just us today. We got a lot to talk about. It's gonna be lit.
Do we?
So yeah, Happy New Year. This is the first episode of the new year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm always late on the applause.
That's why I'm just the sound effects. Just let me be it.
Oh shit! Sorry, you guys. Listen, that was a little loud. Okay. Yes.
That sounds like my twerk video.
Alrighty. This is the first episode of the brand new year, and as you can see, we have not gotten any better. Nothing has changed.
I did not leave. I left my chill, and no, I didn't have it last year either. Never mind. I just didn't get any chill.
All right, we cool though.
Right. Facts.
So, are y'all starting any New Year's resolutions?
No, I don't do that anymore.
Okay.
I'm just gonna be bomb all year, like I was last year.
Sean, what about you?
No, I never even like got into that whole thing. But I'm not mad when people feel like, the first is their reset button.
Right. No, I totally get it. I said that the other day. I was saying, like, I know you shouldn't have to wait for a new year to, like, do new things or changes or whatever, but it is something about, like, hitting the reset on a year. It's kind of like how people never really start a diet on Thursday. You like, I'm going to start on Monday because it's just like a fresh, clean slate for the week or the year, so I respect it.
Even if it's mental, whatever gets y'all started on a better path, get started. I don't give a fuck.
All right, so we give you some time to, turn up for the rest of the year and be like, all right, bet. 1-1, I'm on my shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have something, Sabrae?
A New Year's resolution? No, because a lot of stuff that I wanted to start new, I started when I felt like I should start it. Yeah, like in December.
Are these your lashes?
Yeah, girl.
They look good. Who is your mascara wearer?
Oh, I got from I'll just show you. It's from Ulta.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I got a coupon from them too, from Lady in my makeup. Yeah, I do. I want to, so for when I don't wear my lashes, I need I had a really good mascara, but it was in my makeup bag that was in my car that got stolen. So
okay, but you remember who was buying all that?
No.
That's the blower. Like, people need to stop fucking stealing. But it is good to have lashes without false lashes. I'm really proud of that. So thank you for noticing that, Yatta. You made my day. So today I went to church. Yeah. I did something that I never really do. Yeah. Why are you looking at me like that, Sean?
Went to church's chicken?
No, I really went to church. I went to church with my family. Shout out to
tell them why.
Okay, so this is why. Shout out to my grandma who passed away way too early. Today was her birthday. And we went to church because she always went to church and stuff. So we went to church to kind of like remember her and stuff like that. Did you just
shout out to my grandma? I mean, she died or whatever.
I fuck with her heavy. No, for real. Because, I'm one of those kids who my mom had me young, so I was pretty much raised by my grandparents. Mm-hmm. And, like, she was one of the ones, like, I was raised by my grandparents and her. Mm-hmm. So, like, losing her was like losing a mom. You get what I'm saying?
I wish my folks would just raise my kids. Damn.
No bull, right? But, that was how it was. So, yeah. So, we remember her. She was really dope. So, yeah. That's why I went to church.
What was the sermon about?
You know what? Let me get to that. Let me get to that, though.
Where'd you go?
It's we're not gonna talk about all that, okay? Because I want nobody to, you know what I'm saying.
She streamed it. It's like
I didn't know. I really went. It was it was like Oxon Hill area.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
I guess.
But listen.
So was it?
So
if you go see Keith Battle, I really just don't care.
Church isn't really that bad, If you replace the words devil and evil spirit with white supremacy and white supremacists, that shit valid as fuck. Today they talked about strategy of strength to go up against evil spirits or the devil and stuff. So I'm serious. If you replace the name with white supremacy or white supremacist, that shit is so valid.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were in Oxon Hill. Did you go to a Filipino church?
No.
Oh. Because, Oxon Hill is like predominantly like...
No, okay. I didn't want to put out this because I don't want people to... people should pop up. It's called Shaka World Ministries in Oxon, right off of Livingston
Shaka?
Road. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real black church. It's a super black church.
If you didn't go see Pastor Keith Battle, I really just don't care.
You know, the last time I seen Keith Battle, he had a sermon about slaves obey your masters. And granted, I know he's pro-black, he's for the people and all that. That just rubbed me the wrong way, and I just haven't been back since.
He be wearing big jeans.
Yeah,
I mean,
I fuck with
that's
him,
how you know you could trust him. Because if he was wearing small jeans at his age, I would be like, "Come on, past the midlife crisis, cut that shit out."
I really do mess with Keith Battle. He does a lot for the community, and I respect that.
He definitely does.
I just like that he always has a message that resonates with like our generation. Because I don't think I've ever been to a church where I've seen that many people in my age demographic or younger that consistently turn up every weekend.
Well, yeah,
like you just don't see it. I was riding through the parking lot today. I was going to the 7-Eleven. And it was some bait in that joint, too. I was about to slow. Hey!
You know, I don't know if I
was about to go park. Like, hold on, let me go ahead and catch this service real quick.
You would date a guy who's, like, heavy in the church?
I mean, it depends. Like, heavy in the church, like, I'll be every Sunday, but I send Monday through Saturday, or, like...
You know what?
Because, yes. No, me and my ex used to go to church all the time.
No, like, I'm talking about like
Bible study.
Exactly.
Wednesday.
It's me,
he's he's Bible study. He's the youth minister.
Yeah, like, that's what I mean. Not go every Sunday.
Is he dropping dick off or nah? Because as long as he's doing that, hey, what you do with your Wednesday?
Scripts off.
What you do with your Wednesday is your business. Like he's like, come drop the dick off afterwards, and we are good money.
Nah, like Sabrae, like he'll be like this.
This
just a little bit too much shoulder right here, honey.
I'm like, all right, well, I'll just give a little. Look, as he's dropping hey, look, he's bringing Deke to the crib. We are good money.
Deacon James.
Deke. That's the fancy Dique. Zeke.
Sabrae.
Yes.
Now, would you talk to someone?
Hell no.
Would you talk to someone who's like heavy in the church?
I think our perspectives and ideals on a lot of issues would clash too much. I couldn't date someone who wasn't like on the same consciousness that I'm on. You know, I couldn't date somebody who wasn't conscious.
Sabrae waking up on Sunday morning and all you hear is, how good is our God. While he cleaning the house up and she like, get your ass out.
No, I wouldn't mind it if he was in the church, but I just know that not a lot of pastors or people who are heavy in the church, I'm not saying all, but not a lot of them are on that pro-black, black people. They don't like to separate black people because they just look at all of God's children. And that's relevant for some certain conversations, but that's not relevant for all.
Gotcha.
So we would clash a lot.
Yeah, gotcha. I need a backslider, like a consistent backslider, like
that was sliding in your back.
Slide.
See, she a hoe. Like, I wasn't even about to go there. I'm just. I need my nigga to sin, like, cause
we all sin.
Yeah, but I mean, like
on a regular.
Yeah, I don't want you to be like.
Yeah, like time and a half sin, like overtime sin.
Let's get washed in the blood of the Lamb when we get married, but like up until that point, that's just.
Gotcha.
Fuck it.
Yeah, this is kind of a random topic, but we've been having this conversation. I've been having this conversation with my friends and some of my clients and stuff like that a lot about marriage being overrated, right? So, do y'all think it's overrated? Just a quick yes or no.
No.
Yes.
Why? Yes. Why, Sean? Why is it overrated?
He said you said quick.
Okay.
I know, because I just want to.
Yeah, because I want to be long-winded. I feel like it's not fair because I'm not married. So
none of us are.
I know, I understand. Okay. So I feel like it's overrated because, like, for example, we were talking about how a lot of my guys have been getting proposed to their girls, and then you know how everyone says, like, how you can't ask women certain questions, if she's pregnant, when she's going to get married, why you don't have any kids. So one of my female friends was asking one of our mutual guy friends, like, well, when you going to propose, to such and such. But it was right in front of his girl. I was like, that could make him feel like very.
Wow, hey,
and where's your couth? Like, why do you feel like you can just say that? So he was like, well, what really changes? And he wants to get married to his girl, but he said, they're living together, they share finances together. He's like, what is the rush?
Share a name, nigga. That's what. Like,
no, but that's the thing is some women now be like, oh yeah, I'm not going to change my name either. Like, what does that's
a fact.
That could honestly go both ways though. That question could go both ways because you say what changes, and I'm like, okay, well if nothing changes, then what's the problem with marrying her?
Money. Because what changes now, we gotta. If it depends,
right?
If your wife wants, a nice ring, the reception, the wedding, that changes. You might not want to go $50,000, in debt.
Well, you don't
now,
really have to. I think that's where you kind of just talk about what's reasonable and what's not. But I mean, just to play devil's advocate, that could go either way. Like, if nothing's going to change with marriage, then it really shouldn't be a problem for you to marry her,
right?
And make an honest woman out of her.
But what's okay.
But what does that even mean?
Yeah,
look, that just sounded good.
Okay.
Don't put me on the fucking spot.
Gotcha.
It just sounded good.
I feel like, and this is something that shout out to Danette. We talked about this. This is an idea that she had that I just expanded on. I feel like a marriage license should be renewable, like a driver's license, or a barber license.
That's funny.
Or
that's hilarious.
Every other license you have to get renewed. And because
why do you let your marriage expire by accident?
No. If you're like, okay, we're gonna get the 5-year plan. If it's after 5 years, that's what I'm saying, or 10 years, or whatever. And then y'all celebrate when 5 years went by and we want to renew it. That's something to celebrate.
You're right, because people.
I mean, hear me out.
People fall out of
shit.
No, because people fall out of love.
Yes.
Things change.
Yes.
Like, we are all human. Like, just say, you might feel this way in 2018, and then, 2027, it's like, y'all both are just sticking into it because you feel like you should. You got married, and then it's not what neither party wants.
I mean, I just think that the government acknowledges that people change in anything else. When it comes to your driver's license, they're going to expect your sight, your vision may not be as good, so you can't renew, or your weight is going to be different, or whatever.
I can tell you whatever I want to tell you, though.
No, but I'm saying it's the same concept, but. They expect us to change to anything else, like my barber license. My barber license renews every 2 years. Something could happen. If something happens, maybe, God forbid I get arrested or something like that, they may not let me renew it because something has changed between the time that I renewed.
You may not be you get what I'm saying? Might, no longer be good at marriage. Or want to be. You might have changed. You might not be a suitable partner. Like, why is that the only license that lasts forever? So you don't want to be because... there's a whole... So you feel like just divorce is just nah.
I feel like that's why divorces are so high because more parties have the opportunity. You don't stay just because of money anymore. You don't stay just because of, in large numbers like people did back in the day. So I think that's why a lot of people back in the day stayed together no matter what, because of lack of resources and stuff like that.
So with the renewable, it wouldn't be any penalty.
No. I feel like the divorce rate would go down.
I feel like then what's really the point there? You might as well just be somebody's girlfriend. If you really want to easy out, then just be the girlfriend.
But being married, you get the benefits from someone, like if I'm married, because I have to pay for my own health insurance and dental and stuff like that. Right. If I was married and somebody had a, government job or whatever, I could get benefits. You could be a beneficiary. I get that. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like even when you that's a long, but those are all commitments though. So it's like you want to make all these mini commitments, but you don't want to make the major commitment that includes all the mini commitments. So I'm saying it from a license perspective because it's a marriage license.
I feel like you put a whole lot of emphasis on that license.
Because when you have a license,
what you're thinking about is the marriage certificate. The marriage license really doesn't mean anything. That just means that you're clearly getting married. When you actually get married, the marriage certificate is what binds you legally. Anybody can get a marriage license. Me and Sean could go apply for a marriage license today, get the marriage license, and it doesn't mean that we're married.
Okay, but still,
there has to be a ceremony.
So there should still be. It doesn't have to be, because you can go right there and be like...
Right, but even if you go to Justice of the Peace, it's a ceremony.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what makes it legally binding. That's when they give you your certificate.
Okay. So maybe I'm putting too much
Justice
emphasis.
of Peace? It's at the courthouse?
Yeah.
Is it by OTI?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say yes.
Oh.
Yeah, right, reception.
Gotcha.
But, so I'm putting too much emphasis on the word license, but I think that the concept should be...
But no, I get what you mean.
The same.
So let me ask y'all a question.
All right.
With y'all both being single, right? Would you, if you start dating a guy, right? Would you, if he says, what?
Go ahead.
I just feel like it's about to be some bullshit.
No.
I'm tuned.
Okay. Would you be opposed if a guy, you're feeling a guy and he says, you know what? I never want to get married. I'm with being with you, being monogamous, but is that kind of like a deal breaker if he never wants to get married?
Not today.
Possibly.
Mm-hmm. And why is that?
Because I want to be married.
Yeah. But so you don't feel like marriage and boyfriend and girlfriend long term is the same thing?
I want to be married. Like, that's just what it is. So I feel like, I don't even feel like we would get to the point where I would really be at that bridge or that crossroads where it's like, wow. You know, I feel like, because this is something we're going to talk about early on. And I feel like that's a problem with a lot of people, is that intentions don't get discussed early on. And I'm not talking about the people who lie and misrepresent themselves. I'm talking about regular grown folks who being grown folks.
How about you're talking 2 years, right? And you're in there, and then like he wants to get married. And then he's like, you know what? I've changed my mind. I want to be with you. I don't want to see other women. You know what I mean? But
I would try to understand what the logic is.
Gotcha.
Like, that doesn't make sense to me, because I feel like you want to do everything that marriage entails without being married, and it's just like, what the fuck is the difference? Like, I can see it's like, I don't want to get married because I occasionally want to fuck other bitches, and I don't want it to be like looked upon as
what if it's like, I don't necessarily want to be married, but I would do that for my girl. If I really want to be with her forever, I'll do it for her. But technically, the marriage part doesn't really mean it doesn't solidify anything for me. The relationship solidifies it.
But I feel like, then what's the big damn deal? Like, that it's just, I'm always gonna wonder why someone would want every element that actually is entailed in a marriage, but not want the marriage. Like, what's the problem?
For privileges. Duh. We all know the answers to that.
But that's what my thing is. If you're like, well, I want to be monogamous, I just want to be with you, I don't want to be with anybody else, let's live together, let's have kids, but let's not get married. Boy, what the fuck sense does that make?
Yeah, so I've dealt with a situation where you have to split up assets and stuff like that. And so if you were married, you have to do so much if it doesn't work out to separate yourself from someone.
Well, that
But the woman, you have to change your name, your legal documents. Like, it's so much.
I heard y'all got to basically go through everything. Like,
but you don't have. That's only if you want to reassume your maiden name. If you want to keep your name, because a lot of women who marry, especially if you have children, a lot of them women keep their married name because your children have that name.
But why?
So it's like, so some people are like, well, my kid's last name is Brown. I changed my name to Brown. I want to keep my name the same as my children.
But the reason you have that name is because you're married. You're no longer married now.
And that's
so why
true,
would you?
But it's still, but you don't have to go back to your maiden name. But I can understand that from a child's sake, you want to have that solidarity with your child. Like, you might have children, right? But I'm just saying, family wise, if we are a family and you're my husband and we have 3 children and we split up, I might keep that last name. My family has that name, and it's not about holding on to you. It's about me making, you know what I'm saying, having that. That, you know, that familial tie. You don't want it to be like a whole bunch of people in your y'all last names is different. Like, it happens like that sometimes. Some people want to avoid the stigma.
Most women I know have kept the married name,
and plus you don't feel like going through the paperwork. Like,
most women.
But that's what Sabrae's saying. You don't have to go through all that stuff.
Right, but I'm just like, but I feel like to come at it from this angle is planning to fail. So it's like, you're not approaching your relationship like that, so why do you approach your marriage like that? If you feel like I could be with you forever, then have that same mind state for your marriage.
I approach everything like that. Like, I wear my seatbelt when I get in the fucking car. Not because of me, but you know what I'm saying?
I get that, but, you know, I
think too many people do not plan for their marriages to feel like, especially a lot of women, when they're talking to guys that I guess are the breadwinners and they get lost, like, this is, you know, me forever. Yeah, and then
that's a little bit different.
Yeah, you go like 15 years and then some man has, I won't say the word manipulated, but kept you kind of like complacent.
You should be stashing money, sis.
And then like, yeah, but you know why you're stashing money? Because you never know.
But I feel like stashing money. I feel like you should be stashing money because off the strength that realistically he could fuck the bag up too.
True.
And you don't have any source of income.
Or somebody or something could happen to him.
Yeah, he could be incapacitated.
So you're not thinking of the worst. You're just planning for the worst.
I mean, yes and no, but I feel like I don't necessarily mean like it's a difference between preparing. You know, worst case scenario. And you basically like pretty much are like, this joint is gonna fail. Like, some people approach it with that, and I think that's the reason why the divorce rate is so high, because people go in with the mindset, well, if this nigga get to acting up, I can always leave him, and people don't want to put in the work to make things work. It's not going to be a cakewalk every day.
I think that both can be true. I think some people do plan with the anticipation, like they've never seen a functioning marriage, so they think it's going to fail. But then you got some people that's just like, no, but I don't want this to fail. I really love this person, but just in case. So I think you should just be on the right side of that, whatever fits you best. I think that the license situation or the marriage situation is like it is because if you want to look at the stats, divorce is inevitable half of the time. So we can quite prove that. However, divorce is profitable. And
I just think that people are just
Yeah.
I think people just don't have the endurance to make a relationship actually work. And I think that there are a lot of misconceived notions about marriage, and it's just like when you say what should change. Realistically, not a lot should change. There are some things that are going to change within a marriage, but theoretically, a lot of these things shouldn't change. The same things that you did to get this person is the same things that you should do to keep them once they're married, maintain your relationship, be fruitful. You still have to, you know what I'm saying? You have to create excitement, but you're not always going to be in love with this person. You're going to fall in and out of love. The relatives that I have who've been married 50 plus years and stuff, like this is the jewels they drop on me. Like, how do you make this shit last for 50 years, 55 years? It's going to be highs and lows. But, you know, a lot of these relationships or marriages aren't built on a foundation of friendship or nothing. They don't have no basis. So when you're going through your shit with them, you don't even look at this person like a friend. Yeah. So you treat them like shit because you don't look at them like a friend. So when you have those lows, you don't remember those types of things. It's just a lot of elements to it. But I think people just see divorce as an easy out. And when something goes wrong, one little thing goes wrong, they're ready to call it quits.
And that's why people don't want to get married.
Right. But it's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Because people say that it's overrated because the divorce rate is so high. But divorce rate is so high because a lot of people don't have the endurance. But you're steady worried about basing what you do in your life off of what somebody, not you guys, but a lot of people base what they do in their life off of what other people do. Oh, this nigga cheated, that nigga cheated, I'm never getting married. What the fuck does that have to do with you?
True.
I don't think, I can say that for some, but I think sometimes people get divorced because, hey, fuck this. You're a shitty ass person.
Oh no, absolutely.
And I'm not going to stay with you.
No, absolutely. But I feel like when people hear about how high the divorce rate is, it's off-putting to them to want to get married because they're so busy worried about what other people are doing. But I'm like, you don't know. It's that grass is greener sort of situation. Water your lawn, you never have to worry about what's going on in somebody else's. Yeah. But you don't know what's causing these people to split up. You don't know if it's just marriage in and of itself. You don't know if they're shitty people. You don't know if it's manipulation or anything. So you should worry about what you're bringing to the table in your relationship and stop basing what you're doing with other people.
But sometimes the other person's lawn, their weeds get under your fence and they start fucking up your shit.
Will you please leave me the fuck alone? I just feel like I'm never going to be like...
Weed be gone.
I'm never going to be... me personally, I'm never going to be like, oh my God, the divorce rate is so high, I'm not getting married because some of these niggas cheat. That has nothing to do with me whatsoever. My relationship is my relationship. What I cultivate in my relationship is me and mine alone. I'm not worried about you got divorced, you got divorced.
But you also... But like, to what you said, if nothing changes, what is the incentive to get married? Because I asked you...
Did she explain that?
No, she didn't. Okay. Because I asked why you want to give me a shot, because I just want to.
Okay.
No, I mean, I feel like I just want, I want like that family.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I know. Of course it's not. Shut the fuck. Yeah. Like, I want that family dynamic. I want that type of situation. I want it to be a bonding situation. I don't want...
And you can't do that without...
No, I mean, like, it's not that, but I want it to be some finality to it. You know, like, invest in me, motherfucker, because at the end of the day, the whole reason why you're saying marriage is overrated is because you want to be able to easily walk away. Make that investment in me. That's how I feel. I feel like that's an extra step to make that type of investment in me, and me make that investment in you, and we go forward from there.
You know, I know I just came from church today, y'all, but I'm going to just say this too. Whatever God that you believe in, I do think that God should be in your relationship as well. And not only it should have a foundation of friendship, but it should have a foundation, like a spiritual foundation. I do believe that because I've seen so many...
Are you okay?
I'm not talking about white Jesus.
But no, what I'm saying, exactly. And God said, marry that bitch.
Whoa. Yo. I was just temporarily on the spot.
That's what he said. I'm trying to tell you that's what he said.
Wow.
Well, bitch is only a bad word if you make it that way. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, for real?
Bitch is a female dog. I mean,
Y'all think that for real?
God made Webster. He made the dictionary.
No, I do think it's a bad word. So I'm saying people out there, it's only a bad word.
I feel like
you
context
think it is. I do
matters.
Oh, okay.
In context. So, but anyway,
so if I called y'all bitch, but not in a...
I would not prefer that.
If you was like, bitch, I would be like, Shaw. Like, but if you
but if I was like, bitch,
I would probably punch you in your shit.
I don't want to hear bitch at all, actually. Don't call me a bitch.
I mean, I call people bitch, so I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying?
But I personally don't, so that's why I don't want
I got called bitch the other day. It was kind of funny, though. Well, technically didn't get called bitch, but I kind of got called bitch.
No.
I've never maliciously, and I use the word bitch all the time, I've never maliciously called a woman a bitch to her face. I feel like that's just like...
No, it wasn't like... It was like a hypothetical situation.
Okay.
Like, I was talking about how... like women needing men for things, and I'm like, yeah, I always gonna need a nigga to kill a spider. And the person I was talking to thought I meant it was a spider right there. And he was like, hey, I was about to throw your ass. Like, bitch, you on your own. And it was like, it wasn't like that. It was,
You always, you know how if you want to call your girl a bitch, you just got, it's a way to call her a bitch. You gotta say, man, you acting like a real bitch.
No,
you have to say that.
No, you just got to be fucking her. That's when you get all your bitch bombs out. Bitch. Fucking bitch. And she just be like, yes.
Your
you don't realize
bombs.
You've been holding them joints in the chamber for 2 weeks now. You like, oh my God, you.
Okay, so back to my sermon. Hold on. It's like, no, but no, I do think that's no. I do think that is a factor that people should keep in mind, though. And don't get married just because it's time to get married. Or you've been with that person long enough, so you might as well.
Or she forcing you to get married.
Or their family. I'm because I talk to a lot of people. A lot of guys, especially, end up getting pressured by the family.
Oh, I don't give a fuck about your family.
But a lot of guys, okay, so first of all, a lot of guys don't get pressured by the family, but a lot of guys do. And they feel they let the grandma talk them into it.
Weak.
No, it's a large portion, meaning it's a large portion of people who...
They be getting pressured by women don't even have dudes. They be like, shit, well, we all didn't get married, so my baby...
Somebody got to do it.
Okay.
My niece is getting married. She gonna be the one. I'm like... Cool it,
then they talk you into it like, dang, y'all have a baby and all of this stuff. When you gonna marry her? What she got, So just don't do it unless you really want to do it,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Nah,
and that's pretty much it with anything, yeah.
Yeah.
I totally agree to that.
Because it's supposed to be a lifelong commitment. So you don't, but people
like just discuss that shit beforehand. Before it gets too heavy, make that decision before you start investing a whole bunch into someone and you're thinking that this is where it's going and their whole mind state is, but I'm never doing that shit. Like,
right.
I definitely think counseling is important. Because I think counseling, I think talking, because I think that's a form of therapy. Would you say that?
Yeah.
I think that's important in any aspect of your life, so you definitely should go to counseling.
Premarital joint, like, and even if you're not getting married, even if you're not engaged, like, it's like the people I know who have done premarital counseling said that it's done wonders for their relationship, and even whether they are married now or getting married or haven't even gotten engaged yet, like they just said the whole dynamic of it has done wonders for their relationship, and I think that's important if you just want to have a long, fruitful relationship, whether it's a marriage or not.
Speaking of marriage, our girl Jess Hilarious was in the media recently being accused of being a home wrecker and all of that stuff. And not to get into that conversation, but I do want to ask the question.
You brought it up.
No, I don't want to get into the tea of it.
Why not?
Because I don't really give a fuck.
I mean, you brought it up. Let's get the tea.
No, I'm
give a
using
nigga a little background
as an example.
Paint the picture, baby. Take us.
So let me paint the picture. Okay, where's the brown color? Okay, we're about to paint this picture.
Piping hot.
Okay, so she was talking to Country Wayne, another comedian, from what I understand, and he was so-called married, and then the wife got on social media.
So-called married, actually married.
I don't know, because I didn't do it because I didn't really care about the actual.
The nigga's married.
So he's married, and people accuse Jess Hilarious because she was dealing with him a little bit or whatever, that she was a home wrecker. Jess Hilarious clarified that she ain't with him. She just dealt with him for a little bit, but she's single. But anyway,
right, shout out to Chris Brown if you're interested.
Right. I wanted to ask the question, can you be a home wrecker if the home is already wrecked?
No, there's no such thing as a home wrecker to me, not an external one. The only people that can wreck the home is the ones inside of it. So I don't give a fuck what you do. I don't care how much you shoot your shot at that man or that woman. If that person is not biting or entertaining you, there is no home to be wrecked. So only people in the marriage can wreck the home to me. So calling someone a home wrecker, that really, no, it doesn't exist to me.
So do you think people who are outside who are not in the relationships because they don't really have any loyalty, you don't think they should have like any boundaries or just from a morale aspect entertain someone who's in a relationship?
Yes. In an ideal world, absolutely. But at the end of the day, they don't owe you nothing. They did not make a commitment to anybody in this situation. They don't owe you nothing. And that's the problem. People will hold an outside person to a higher standard than the one who made you the commitment. I'm looking at my nigga, and I don't give a fuck. 1,000,000 bitches could shoot at you, sweetheart, as long as you're not entertaining it. I'm worried about what you said. I'm not worried about what they said. Because if you look halfway decent, somebody else is going to want you. Didn't stop being attractive because I got you. Somebody else wants you. They're always going to want you. They're going to shoot. When you shut it down, we don't have no problems. It's when you entertain it, then it's you that I'm coming at, not them.
If my man talking to this girl and she's shooting her shot with me, you know what I'm saying? Should I go because, like, she don't respect the relationship?
No, that's going to ultimately come down to your moral compass. Oh, yeah. But I feel like it's on you. But at the end of the day, his beef shouldn't be with you. His beef should be with his... Well, you said that's your man.
Yeah.
Well, that's a little bit different because now it's become a friendship situation where it's violations on both sides.
Okay.
I'm talking about
your... But if she won't go...
I'm talking about your average, I'm dating someone and some random person that keeps shooting at my dude, shut it down and we don't have no problems. It's when you entertain it. But when you're dealing with a friend, that's different because you actually do have loyalty to him because he's your man.
Gotcha.
And she should have loyalty to him too because that's his woman. So that's a double violation. But it's still going to be on her. If she's acting up.
I agree with that 100%, Yatta. I do think, but I also think that there's responsibility on the outside person as well. The main responsibility is on the inside person. If you entertain that, that's on you, and you fuck that up. You are the homewrecker. That person is just immoral. You know what I'm saying? That person is immoral to knowingly mess with somebody who's in a relationship. There's responsibility on you too, just on a moral aspect.
I say a marriage. Not necessarily a relationship.
I feel like either or.
Either or, but I get where you're coming from as well. But if you know somebody's in a relationship and you decide to talk to them still or whatever, or try to interfere with whatever they got going on, just know that you wrong for that. But the other person is double wrong for entertaining you and committing. Okay, so let me tell you, hold on, wait. If you told the person that you're with, hey, I'm committed to you, I'm only having sex with you, I only want to be in a relationship with you, you break that promise by dealing with somebody on the outside, whether you're married or not, you still made that commitment to that person, so you're fucked up.
Right. Honor your word.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I just feel like at the end of the day, I mean, even if I might whip her ass, it's not even because I'm taking it like, oh, you're more responsible than him. It's just because somebody got to get it and I can't beat him. So it has to be you.
Didn't Justin Lawyers leave her dude?
Yeah.
Because nobody...
They've been broke up a little bit.
But why didn't she get any back? Because do you think that she left him due to her stardom, her new fame? She said he kept like cheating on her. She kept finding shit out, like, you know what I mean? Like over and over. So she just was like sick of it. Because I never heard anything about it. Because I know like when men get to like a certain level and then they leave the person that they've been when it's like, oh, why didn't you,
she was leave like, you got me out here looking dumb as hell, you know?
Right, and now that I'm getting more popular, I'm looking even dumber because now I have a bigger platform for me to look dumb on.
And you just keep doing shit, knowing that, you know, we're getting more eyes on us, and you just keep doing shit.
Right. She had him out here looking stupid with them dumbass weaves she was wearing. What the fuck?
I mean,
them dumbass weaves got him made him who he is today.
That's not, no.
Let's be clear.
Not because of her weaves.
He's
they're terrible.
Somebody?
Well, because of her, yeah. Because he helped out. So, you know, like when you've been with somebody and you might have helped them or you might, you know, book them for stuff. Now they break up. People might be like, oh, he was with Just Hilarious. He knows a little bit about different venues or whatever. Okay. I want to do business with him, whatever like that. You know, so... Gotcha. I think he has something from that for sure. If he left with nothing, then that's his fault. So, you'd be surprised. He might be getting a little checks here and there off of smaller talent and stuff. Yeah.
But no, I definitely feel you. I'm not going to put the onus of that on the outside person because I feel like especially if you don't know me, I'm never expecting you to put my best interest above your own. You're going to go for self because you want what you want. And it's something appealing, apparently, to these women about men who are taken. Like, damn, somebody says, don't let your bitch be bad, too. If you looking good and bitches see that you look good, like, damn, she want him? Like, what he got going on with him? And it's something that's appealing to these women, but I'm not expecting you to put your own personal interest to the side in favor of mine because you don't know me, you don't owe me. Right. So it's all about him. The focus is on him. You can wreck the home, I can wreck the home. These outside bitches can't do nothing if we not entertaining them, so.
Agreed. We were talking about this last night at dinner. Is it better to meet someone on Instagram or Twitter?
I say Twitter.
Damn. What'd you say? You said IG, right?
I say Instagram.
You like
I've been successful in both arenas.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to have to say...
Break the tie.
Twitter.
Damn.
My nigga.
You know, maybe I'm saying that because I'm just not that active on Twitter.
Yeah, you're not a tweeter, but
we had to get you like
you gotta get to. That's where you get to see like how people interact. Because I feel like I love IG. Don't get me wrong, but outside of like memes and stuff like that, it's just pictures. So I can see that you look good. Your angle, you hit your angles. You know what I'm saying? You get your But I just feel like on Twitter you can post them same pictures, and I get to see how your opinions on certain topics, things that trend, just how you talk to people. You'd be surprised after that R. Kelly shit. Yeah. A lot of niggas told on themselves with that. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Block, 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 block. Because you get to realize that some niggas are really problematic, or you see how they stand up in certain issues and it gives you more insight onto them as a person.
But I agree with what Charlamagne said this recently. I think a lot of people be performing on Twitter.
Yes,
I can't always believe for face value, I think a lot of people do stuff for likes and retweets. And I just do. I don't even like the algorithms on Twitter. I like the algorithms on Instagram better.
I feel like they do it on there too, though. I feel like people troll on there too.
No, on Twitter you can fake be smooth and like a gentleman, but it's going to be a tweet that's going to reveal, oh yeah, he's a fucking idiot. But you can't hide those. True. Like on certain topics, you be like, yeah, I thought you was nah.
I feel like because I use myself as the litmus for a lot how I gauge other people, and I know that sometimes I troll like shit, and then there's times where I'm genuinely serious, so I'm dropping gems. So I can't hold that against somebody else and feel like everyone else is trolling. Oh, he's full of shit. He's performing, because I have my off and on moments too. It's like, sometimes I am performing for just antics for fun, and then sometimes I'm dead ass. So I'm like, I gotta kind of give people that balance too until you show me otherwise.
Do you think you're the same person on and off social media?
For the most part, yes. For the most part, yes.
Because I've dated women, and they were like, "Yo, I hate you on Twitter." Like you're not like.
Do you feel like you are the same person? I think we should ask. Do you think Sean is the same person on social media and in person?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think he's a little bit more of an asshole on social media than he is in real life. But it's not even really asshole. It's because I know you. I feel like you're candid either way, and I think that's what it is. When you're candid on social media, it comes off like you're being an ass. But it's just like, just knowing you in real life, it's you. You're not really an ass, but it just comes off like that.
I used to talk to a young lady, and she was like, "Yo, you're really rude and brash, and you massage. She's like misogynist." She said, "But when we're together, I don't get any of that. I've heard certain stuff, and I don't get any of that." And I said, honestly, do you think a woman that I just don't know, I've never met, that I follow, is going to get the same respect from me that I give to you? I mean, it's just two different things.
And then delivery, it's like a text, right? If you text something, you may not get all of the tones and the undertones and stuff like that, and all the emotions.
Especially if there's no emojis or whatchamacallits.
Where we at on time? How long we been? 30. Okay, cool. We got plenty of time. Okay, so I think, what do y'all think? I think I'm the same person on social media and in person.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't do a whole lot on social media anyway, so I don't feel like, you definitely...
You just post, pictures of, photo shoots that you took in front of, Air and Space Museum and shit like that, you know what I'm saying?
But I mean, as far as the little bit that you do tweet, when I say, and I'm gonna go more on tweets than anything, because I feel like that's when you're actually it's more than pictures. But even then, you be sounding like you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Supremacists.
Yeah. No,
these white fucking supremacists.
You're more of a, you're a retweeter. You mentioned me in this. Let me retweet that.
I know, because I be trying to be a little active, but I'm not consistent enough.
I think I'm exactly. I ain't gonna say exactly things, because people think I'm mean because of Twitter, but I'm the nicest person ever.
I feel like on IG, when we're physical creatures, you're just, all you're getting is pictures.
That's not true. You get captions and you get
But those are usually fucking music lyrics. So.
Yeah, I'm like, she's using caption for Moneybag Yo. Oh yeah, she be fucking a lot of niggas. What you know about Moneybag Yo?
Well,
bitch,
right.
Fucking caption Solange.
16 of your shows you fucking. You said caption Solange.
And I was like,
I captioned LMA on my lash, or selfie or whatever.
I don't do music that much. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should use music captions
sassy.
more.
I love a little sassy music caption on that jump, boy. But other than that,
Shout out to people who find hidden gems in music captions and stuff like that.
I be hitting some throwback jokes, man. Those be the best ones when you pull a joint out from 2007 or something. Niggas like, what fucking wish?
I don't like doing any mainstream captions. As soon as Drake drop an album, oh no, I'm not touching this album.
You didn't post I'm light skinned but I'm still a dark nigga. No. When Scorpion came out.
You are trash.
No, first of all, I'm not light skinned.
I had a Wheezy joint. I had a Wheezy joint from motherfucking Lala. Remember that joint?
Yeah.
I swear I'm a savage, like Lil Webby and Randy.
I don't want to post any caption that everyone's going to know the caption to. I want people to be like, oh, I see what you did right there.
No, they're going to be like, dang, those are good words from Sonny M. Hoffa. That's what you want to do. You want to take the credit.
No, I'm not like that.
I'm just fucking with you anyway.
I ain't like that.
All right. So I guess y'all say Twitter. I say Instagram. I think Instagram is a good way to meet anyone, whether you're doing business, you're interested in purchasing a product from someone, or if you're dating or you're looking for someone to date, or you just stumble upon somebody. I think the Instagram is a good tool.
Yeah, Instagram gonna let you know where her head at though, because she going. That's where all like the memes at. You be like, oh, she's in a relationship. Be like, oh, hold. Ooh, it's been 17 weeks.
Oh my God! Or when she posting all that. People make time for what they want to make time for. If he not making time for you, then you ain't it, sis.
You know, right
and she
there.
Be like, stamp in the comments.
You know, right then and there.
Somebody
the
just
nigga that she like is not giving her any time. This is my time to swoop right in.
And give her a little bit of time only.
That's why I take that shit to Twitter, because when I say it on Twitter, I really don't mean it. Like, I be just saying, like, no, they be come up in conversation. I hate that, though, because you get more context on Twitter. Like, that should have come out of nowhere on Instagram. But on Twitter, I might have seen somebody's tweet and been like, well, no, actually, and I might just tweet off on my own little tangent. You get the context. But on IG, you see that shit, oh, this bitch is blue.
Twitter is better because you get to do your research, because y'all give the blueprint on how to get y'all. Like, seriously, I say this all the time.
You right.
For y'all to be smarter than us, sometimes it just does not show.
Fuck you.
No, and I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Like, I've definitely like saying, okay, this what she like to do, this and that. Oh, my last boyfriend didn't do this. He never just sent like sporadic flap. No.
Oh, see, I don't do that though.
No.
I'm not giving you the whole cheat code.
We're doing. Oh yeah, I like this book. I remember when Twitter first started, this girl was like, she was into this books and shit. I don't be reading this shit. I mean, now I do. I wasn't reading back then. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Man, I went and purchased the motherfucking book. So I waited like 6 days because I wanted to make it seem like too obvious.
Then tweeted about it.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, what y'all? Oh, you into that? I'm like, yeah, that's like one of my favorite books. So of course I had to like read at least the first 85 pages to get some type of content. I'm like, yeah, this part. So date week later. You know, I'm a gentleman, so I ain't going to, but just know it was a connection there.
Niggas ain't shit, bro. Hoes and shit.
Oh, no, see, I'm not giving a hoe cheat code, though. I'm a tweet
you
shit like, I love affection. Like, I'm touchy-feely. Like,
I'm not giving y'all none of that.
Physical touch is my love language type shit, but that is some shit you're not going to know until you got to get me first to know that. So, no, I'm not giving you, I'm not going to just hand you the keys, my nigga. You got motherfucking. But
that's what women be doing, and then women be handing the keys, and then niggas would get what they want, and then they leave. And, and then they talk about this. I'm like, well, you told us, like, my coworkers at my job would just be, I see niggas just taking notes like, yeah, I'm going to get you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're telling, oh, my dude didn't do this, just and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You like Panera Bread? Okay, green tea, got you.
I see. I don't be giving
torch.
You're not about to get people. I don't think you can get anything from my Instagram. You have to figure that shit out. And best believe if I ever say people make time for what they want to make time for, just believe I'm not the victim of that shit.
Gotcha.
I'm on the other end.
She's like, I'm the one not making time for your monkey ass.
So, and this is why.
But it's definitely a true statement, though. I would never 100%. Say it. It's definitely a true statement, though.
No, absolutely. What's funny to me is that, like, I never really post memes that are reflective of my life right now.
Gotcha.
I be posting shit because that shit be funny, or I saw it and it's just some real shit. So for real, nigga really try and go through my shit like, oh, young buddy, no.
Damn.
No, you're going to feel fucking stupid.
All right, Sabrae might be right. I might be switching up. Because, like, if she posts a meme on hump day, be like, yeah, I can fuck, like, in 2 days.
Because she horny. She posted.
Like, women, no, you shouldn't be doing. I mean, who am I to say what you should post? But like if you're posting like animation with like Bugs Bunny having sex with like like I'm like, oh yeah, she down.
Yeah,
she down.
Yeah. Have y'all ever like seen something that y'all wanted to repost because it was a really good point and it was really meaningful and you agree with it, but you're like, I don't want nobody to read into this because I'm not going through this.
Yeah, hit the silent retweet.
Yeah, because I be seeing stuff. I'd be like, oh yeah, that's so good. Then I just be like, nah.
I'll just reply and be like,
into that joint.
I'll just reply RT. You don't know what I'm talking about. You got to look into that.
Yeah.
Guys, we used to do on Twitter all the time. Like, say if it's a guy says something good, but like say if you're in a relationship or a girl that you're talking to might take it the wrong way.
Yep.
I just put the asterisk silent retweet and niggas just.
Yes. That be happening.
All the way on blast. It got to be like.
So it has come the moment that we got to talk about this sick ass nigga R. Kelly.
Dum, 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 dum.
And
you remind me of my creep.
So first of all, let me say this.
I fucking hate you.
R. Kelly is a sick ass nigga. Sick ass nigga.
And No Disclaimers podcast does not endorse this motherfucker at all.
Magic Johnson.
We do not endorse him At all.
Support them, nothing.
All you fake-ass celebrities, though, in Hollywood, or just in general, y'all niggas knew about him for years. Facts. Period. Y'all niggas, because it's
decades,
it's stuff that,
honestly.
Decades, for sure. It's stuff that the media puts out and stuff. Then it's underground stuff that they know amongst each other.
That we wouldn't even know.
Exactly.
Right. Facts.
I don't respect you for speaking out now. I don't fucking respect those Tank, Jada, all those people. I don't fucking respect it. I think it's so hypocritical. You speak out now when you knew. You fucking knew. Essence, Ebony, shout out to Tariq Nasheed that found out that dug up the old covers of them putting R. Kelly on the front page of their magazine after the allegations came out. They're the same people bashing black men now for, because of it. And they supported it when they found out the allegations initially. So fuck them too. And, I just want to start by saying that, and Yatta had a viral tweet, and I want you to expand on that.
Yeah, shit.
I mean, you got to.
We going to quote this motherfucker.
Okay.
We going to quote it.
Yeah.
We going to quote it or whatever. It's screenshotted.
But he a sick nigga, and he need help. He need his ass whipped, but he also needs therapy, counseling, and stuff like that, because you can get your ass whipped and still be a sick nigga. He needed
a jambalaya of things.
But jail, you can't go to jail without evidence and proof.
But he still needs
evidence.
He needs all of those things. I mean, there's a whole fucking VHS, but that's neither here.
But he was tried on that already.
I know.
And didn't get convicted. So we can't, only because.
And so was OJ.
But I'm saying you can have your feelings about that, and that's the thing. But you can't open up the floodgates of, okay, so there's no proof. Yeah, you was tried again, so you need to be tried. You were tried before you got tried again, because that opens up the gate for so many innocent people to get caught up in that. So I don't believe that anybody should go to jail without proof.
I feel like the nigga was on tape. That's proof.
But the proof was
there. But
there.
he already was tried
right,
for
and
that.
we get that, but I'm just saying, I feel like he's a fucking predator. We're all aware that he's a predator. His ass should have been in jail alone.
Okay, well, so then that's fine. That's
my logic. He should have been in jail. That's why I say he needs jail. He should have been there.
Right. So at this point, I don't necessarily say jail just because I only believe that you should go to jail with proof. That's my only angle.
But they had
that.
proof on
the proof was there. That's why he was on trial. But I feel like he should go to jail, and he should get penetrated by a bunch of male inmates. And
okay, well, we can agree to disagree. Now, I only say no to the jail, only not for R. Kelly, because fuck R. Kelly, but. I'm speaking of the bigger picture.
But we're talking about
you
R.
already
Kelly,
know the topic of this.
But we're talking about R. Kelly.
Fuck R. Kelly.
Yeah, all right. But we're talking about R. Kelly specifically, though, and there was proof. So I feel like he should be in jail. He should have been in jail.
So, but I'm talking about today. So back then, yes, he should have been arrested. I'm talking about today.
He shouldn't even be free right now. Like, fuck that nigga, man.
Okay. That
nigga was out here praying. Like, that's some wild shit. Nigga was really violating the shit out the school zone. But that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
My tweet said, and some folks. People really rallied in support of it or whatever. Mm-hmm. Jamal told me it made it to his Facebook, which I thought was kind of funny because, some old bitches are probably in their feelings. I really don't give a fuck. Right. Bitches could fight me. So, my tweet said, R. Kelly got a whole fan base of old-ass bitches who have swept molestation under the rug in their own families. They will continue to support his predatory ass the same way they've had the perverts in their family at Thanksgiving sitting across from the kids they harmed. And I feel like that's the reason why a lot of his fan base, these old bitches, is on Facebook, especially because, that's their playground. Mm-hmm. And they are defending him to the death. I was listening to the radio on my way here, and they were defending him to the death. Like, well, I just feel like it's this agenda against black men. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to negate that. But the problem is he did it. There's proof. I'm not going to sit here. You can't call it an agenda when you actually did the shit. It's the innocent people that are being taken down in this agenda to, you know what I'm saying, emasculated and whatever to black men. But when you did the shit, sweetie, it's not the agenda. Right. You're a fucking predator.
So when it comes to that agenda talk is valid. But it's not necessary when you're talking about a predator who has actual victims.
Right, it's not applicable in this situation.
Now, the agenda
Dozens
comes
of
from...
victims.
Right. Well, okay, whatever. I'm just going off of the doc or whatever. I don't know. See, I didn't even see the tape. So I'm coming from a slightly different perspective, but if even a half of one thing in that documentary was true, he needed his ass whipped. So that's how I'm going out there.
Precisely.
Because I never believe 100% of the accusers, but I never believe that the person being accused is right either. I'm just saying, you can't, unless there's proof, I can't just take it. They say, oh, just trust black women. No, some black women be lying. Some white women be lying. Like, people be lying. But I do believe that nothing, like not all of that stuff was a lie. And there's too many people that corroborated what was said in that thing. So,
I believe every single one of those women.
Okay, so I saw bits and pieces. I'm just saying, I don't take anything anybody says for face value, because I've been lied on about anything. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not anything, but I've been lied on before just about, what Sabrae said, such and such. No, the fuck I didn't. Just because a person says it doesn't mean make it true.
I honestly, I think someone like Bill Cosby accusers were lying. I think every last woman on that docuseries. And
that's the crazy thing, is because I'm the same way. I've been lied on a million times. So no, I'm not typically the one who just, oh my God, everything's at face value. But in my heart of hearts, I believe every single woman who accused that man. Every single woman. The stories are too fucking consistent. They're women who don't know each other. I don't feel like they're meeting up to get their story together. I feel like this is genuinely like he's fucking sick.
No, he is sick. So even if say if you're 15 or 16 or 17 at the time, even if you are lying, if you had intercourse with that man, that's fucking sick.
My thing is, he was willfully doing it though, and that's the downside, is that all of these women have the story of him knowing how old they are and basically saying, "Hey, well, tell niggas you 19, act 21." He knew it. Like the fact that you married Aaliyah, you knew how old she was. The fact that you got your folks to go and fucking, you know what I'm saying, get these forged documents to do it, and the fact that somebody was willing to do that is I swear I'm counting. I'm up to about 14, 15 grown folks that need their fucking.
And that's what I said in the that's what I was saying about the documentary as well. Is R. Kelly a monster and a sick ass nigga? Sure. But it's a lot of people in that documentary with blood on their hands.
And that's why they're trying to purge themselves now.
That's why I don't get why people say that you can't manipulate a 14 and 15 or 16-year-old woman. When you're manipulating grown-ass men not to snitch on you.
Exactly.
So
you can manipulate anyone.
No, when you're manipulating grown women. Like, that's the thing. The same people that say 14 and 15-year-olds should know better are the same ones finessing grown bitches every single day.
Because the last part was the cult, and those were grown women.
Like Slim,
those were like 23, like...
Who couldn't finesse a 14 or 15-year-old girl? Let's be real here. Unless she's heavily supervised. And even then, like, my thing is that these are grown men. They know the game. These girls barely know themselves. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? At all. And they're naive and they're young. And then he's a celebrity at that. So they got stars in their eyes. It's a man they got a poster of on their wall. And he choosing. You gonna do what the fuck he say.
Just think at 14 or 15 what you would do to date the star football player or basketball player. You think to tell your friends you're dating the number one R&B artist, like, why wouldn't you?
Exactly. Like, you're gonna go for it.
And to put that on women, they're not women. Put that on kids, like, that's not cool.
And that's what I saw a whole lot of, and that's what disgusted me. And I really don't think that I've ever blocked more people in one sitting on Twitter before in my life. But I've never seen so many people. You will not put the onus of accountability on children when there is a grown-ass predator involved, because there's somebody who's supposed to be naive, which would be the 14 and 15-year-old girls, and there's somebody who's supposed to fucking know better, which is this 27-year-old man. He's supposed to know better. You supposed to... I don't give a fuck if she was hot or she was trying to be with the shits or whatever. Trying to be grown, you draw the line as a grown man.
Yes, go ahead, Sean, because I want to say something after that.
I want to play devil's advocate, okay? And I was thinking, should I say this because I got 2 women on the show and I don't want to lose subscribers, but I will say it. I don't understand it, but I can see why people would not snitch on R. Kelly. Hear me out. How many times have you guys been sexually harassed at your jobs?
Too fucking many.
And have you told?
I mean, technically, yeah.
Have you told on those people?
No.
That's not your fault. You're thinking do I want this man to lose his job? Or I mean, I don't know.
No, that is literally the exact thought process.
Because it depends on the level of abuse. Yeah. It depends on the level. Like, if you're because a lot of women know how to handle themselves and carry, don't fucking touch me, and that'd be the end of that. But technically, you still have the right to go say, hey, this man touched me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, nobody's ever touched me is really what it is. It's more so commentary, and that's true.
No, but even if there's somebody be like, dang, that's technically, they don't have to touch your ass or titties. But just you look real cute. That could be considered to something.
Oh no, absolutely. If it's unwarranted or undesired, it is.
Because in both of y'all fields, y'all probably work with predominantly males.
Yeah.
Y'all would be fucking every other day going to the police.
For sure.
Or going to a supervisor.
I've gotten unsolicited photos, you know, certain commentary, like you said.
Niggas be going.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
niggas do be going hard. And some niggas are sick. You know what I'm saying? So, and while I know it didn't offend me to that level, it didn't make me feel uncomfortable to the level where I feel like I would have long-term effects. So, of course, I'm not going to go and be like, oh, let me call the authorities on this. No, it's like, do it again, and I'm going to get somebody to whip your ass. And if it ends at that,
do it
then,
again, and I'm going to whip your ass. I'm going to tase you. I'm going to tase you.
So that's the thing the thing I was trying to say. I'm not... Those people are definitely should be held accountable. But when we talk about, like, money...
Yeah.
You think some of these people, these women and these men, like, yo... I wasn't making any money. I have no income. Like, this is my... And I'm sure he wasn't even, like, paying people, like, heavily. But just to be around and have that type of lifestyle, that's enough for certain people. And they were like, yo, I'm not going to cut this connection off.
And then what if some of those people... And I'm not excusing this or condoning this, but what if some of those people felt like, well, I mean... Hey, if them girls was with it, I mean, I ain't see nobody screaming or
I don't even feel like that's a what if. I feel like that's probably a genuine logic.
Right.
Like, niggas is probably like, well,
that ain't my motherfucking business.
Or it's not me. Or it's not my kid.
Right.
People do not respond to things if it doesn't really, like, personally.
Yeah. Okay,
you know?
they really have a disconnect from these things until it affects their family. And it's just funny how people will say, well, yeah, some of them bitches was lying, or I feel like them bitches was lying or whatever. And I'm like, okay, explain to me what's the difference between these bitches, as you refer to them, and a woman in your family. Because if a woman in your family came to you and said, hey, somebody R. Kelly my shit, you're going to go for blood. You're not going to say, well, I don't know, you could be lying.
But even if they say even if you're out there and you think some of the bitches were lying.
That means some were telling the truth.
For some of them that were telling the truth, that's enough.
If even one was telling the truth.
If one was telling the truth, that's enough. And so if you feel like somebody was telling the truth because it's too many consistencies.
Right. Now you know he's
stories,
capable.
Not just from the victims, but for people around him. You should know that something is wrong. That nigga needs some, at the very least, he need his ass whipping. He need help. And I think that if you think that he's perfectly fine, you're fucked
This
up.
one it was when he should have first. And it was probably happening before. I know we're talking about the people around him. I feel like we're in that point at the industry.
100% media.
When he married Aaliyah, because I didn't know, because you got to think, you might have been like,
I was
like
kid,
2.
And I
no, I'm not trying. That was like 93.
I
was 8.
No, she was 15 when they married. That was 94.
Yeah, I was 2.
I mean, so we don't really.
So I really didn't. Aaliyah, that wasn't in real time for me.
So I know I heard.
You know, her time wasn't in real time.
It really worked.
I knew it wasn't a myth.
You was really too.
I knew it wasn't a myth or anything, but like I didn't know, like it was on the news, like it was on MTV News. Like I'm like, yo, why wasn't he stopped?
I thought it was a lie. I ain't even gonna hold you. And you know why I thought it was a lie initially, or why I wanted to believe it was a lie. Now, granted, I was young, you know what I'm saying, but I wanted to believe it was a lie so bad because I was such a big fan of hers, and I'm just like, she wouldn't do that. Like, no. But you did. Then you get older and you get a little bit more context, and you realize that it's not her; it's a fucking predator, and it changes.
Can I say something too? Because this is No Disclaimers podcast. And I just feel like with all the people that are speaking out on this, and I agree with a lot of them, that nigga's fucked up and all that. He's sick in the head of shit. America has to be honest with themselves to say that the age difference and men being attracted to young women like that, a couple of generations ago, was accepable.
Oh, no.
Just a couple of generations ago.
I was going to bring that up. Actually, you're absolutely right.
My great-grandmother was under 18, slightly under, I can't remember exact age, when her first marriage with my grandfather. And nobody looked at him like a predator. She was born in 28, though. So, you get what I'm saying? So, that was acceptable, you know.
Because they was marrying girls off when they was 15, 16 years old, easy.
Right. Now, granted, it was a different time, so I don't agree with that in these times. But I'm saying you can't seriously think that certain people with that mentality of liking somebody young or somebody that they can control just goes away. You get what I'm saying? They need to be dealt with, but stuff like that is going to happen because it's not far removed from happening. He grew up in it. He's at this time, that probably was one generation removed from his.
But that's the thing is, it's not even it's been since the beginning of time.
And so, but I'm saying, and so that's why I feel like more so for his generation, he's like on the last leg of that, you know, because while there are situations like, you know, my grandmother or whatever, who my great grandmother, by the way, who, you know, got married and was totally fine with that and nothing. She didn't look at him like a predator or whatever. There's some women that in that same time was like, oh my God, this man, you know, I was 16 and he was 28 and that's sick. But she didn't look at it like that. She just like, that was the norm for me. So she didn't feel affected by that.
I feel like it's a lot of stuff that we normalize and we think because it's still wrong.
Right.
It wasn't, like, but it was it wrong back then?
Because it was absolutely wrong back then. But I think that the context for people was different because it was normalized. Like people were used to having these young.
Because was it not legal back then?
No, that's why his ass was on trial.
No. I'm talking about my great grandparents.
I would have to go back.
Right, because
but they might have gotten parental consent in situations like that because parents can consent to their minor children getting married and things like that.
Because if that's the case is. Then what year was it? Okay, this is when we're going to stop. You know what I mean?
No, because there was a certain time that law had to be in effect, and maybe we are not prepared enough because we should have researched when 18 was the legal age. And I agree with that age because so much has changed from the 20s, 30s, and 40s to now because even the way that the kids are being brought up at 14, 15, 16, back then you were able to raise a family. You knew how to cook, you knew how to take care of a house and take care of children and stuff like that. So the mentality was different. People was like leaving their homes at 18 to be full-fledged adults. Right now, a 16-year-old is immature as fuck. You get what I'm saying?
What they used to say that nasty, if you old enough to bleed, you old enough to breed.
Well, technically, from a nature standpoint,
that's true. It's just like ill.
But like
I mean, yes, it's ill, but technically, by nature, when you get your period, that is when your time to that's when it's time to procreate by nature. Now, laws, I'm not saying that, and should you do that?
But
no,
just physically, you are able to procreate.
Right? Exactly.
I'm just saying, even if it was legal, it's something. A woman is legal at 18.
Yeah.
Imagine if I bring I'm like, this is my girl, and she 18.
Oh,
I would say something.
I
would say something and pull you to the side. But you're absolutely not in wrong.
Yeah,
I am in the wrong.
But I just feel like
to you and your
from a legal standpoint, no. But I'm like, just because you can do it doesn't mean you should.
Absolutely.
And I also look at it like what made it so disgusting about him is that these girls were girls and they look like girls. And the sad part is like you do got some young girls who look stacked like shit. From a physical standpoint, these bitches look 25. Easy. You know what I'm saying? Body-wise. Now, a man looking at you, and this is not to condone whatsoever. Let me just, even though I don't disclaim, let me just disclaim that real quick. But you see a woman. You see a female. You see a female, and she has a real nice figure. She's stacked, ass fat, titties sitting, all that, waist small, whatever. A man is going to react to that. He's going to be attracted to that. It's at the juncture where you find out she's 14 that you dub that shit.
Exactly.
But you can't be mad at a man for physically being attracted to that prior to knowing her age.
Exactly.
It's the fact that he willfully knew. And these girls weren't stacked, though. That's the crazy thing. The girl in the tape looked fucking 13.
Okay, so take away the tape. I didn't see the tape, okay? Take away the tape.
For small favors, honey.
Okay. But listen, okay. Just to even though I agree with you, just to play devil's advocate out there for the listeners, make it spicy. We know that 20 years ago, what was grown or body types is different from now. We got hormones. We got a lot of estrogen in the food. Girls are developing faster. They get their period quicker. Like, it's just a lot of stuff going on where we're growing a lot at a different pace. Back in the day, because back when my mom was in high school, and I saw pictures of her friends, they look like I was developed before that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm coming from that standpoint. So maybe back then, that wasn't too far off versus now.
I gotta agree to disagree.
Yeah, okay.
That's very true, but at the same time, when I was coming up, I had some stacked ass homegirls too. I had homegirls whose ass was fat as shit.
But wasn't it less common in the 80s? Was it less common in the 80s?
I feel like it could have went. First of all, I wasn't. I'm
not saying for you.
I wasn't that much alive in the 80s.
No, my dad said it's way more attractive women. He said in his high school it was like 3 attractive women. He said it's harder for men, and that he's just saying, he said the access that we have to women is like crazy. He said we didn't even have a phone. You had to talk to somebody. They had to live in your neighborhood, go to your school, and that's when you talk to them. Now you can meet somebody and not even have met them before. He said women were not as shapely. They were small. They couldn't dress. A certain type. No. So like he said, you didn't see, even if you saw a woman who was like, I guess, voluptuous, it wasn't as much as like, it was like 1 every 10 women. Now it's 1
Yeah, it's definitely more prevalent now, but I'm not gonna say it didn't exist because, like I said, I had some homegirls, and I'm talking we was 8, 9 years old who was already on their way. Hey. You know what I'm saying? To being cake double cheeked up on Thursday.
You kind of come in on that beginning. You came up on that beginning portion of the developing earlier. Epidemic.
But I feel like this is something that happened in what year was this?
I don't know.
This tape drop.
So that's what I said. I'm taking away the tape. I'm speaking more so in general because I didn't see the tape. So I didn't see how that little girl was. But just sidebar real quick off of the little girl, the Sparkle woman. No, fuck her.
And she never
you get what I'm saying?
Too.
Because I saw someone on social media that she dropped a single or something recently, or today or yesterday or something like that, post the Lifetime documentary coming out. Mind you, she was the same one who was saying how horrible he was, how controlling he was, and how, I don't want her talking. He didn't want people talking to me, and he was just such a horrible person. But then, I still introduced my niece to him because I want him to do for her what he did for me. Like, come the fuck on. If he was
feel like he did shit for you.
But
the nigga did not make nobody a star. Like none of y'all.
Right, that's true. But he gave some of them, I guess, visibility at that time because he definitely gave her visibility with that one song I saw on the
Be careful, yeah.
Right, but
and then he did that shit.
She got so much blood on her hands because if she felt the way she did about him and still introduced her niece to him, she's fucked up for that, and she shouldn't even been able to be on.
I don't even feel like her niece was really a rapper though. That's the shit that threw me off though, because you're saying she was a rapper, but all we ever see is her in some hooping pics and shit like that. It didn't even really seem.
It never popped off.
Oh no, I'm saying, but it just didn't. She seemed a little disingenuous with what she was saying.
No, they had like videos and pics. It was like 4 of them. They were like in a little rap.
If R. Kelly need to be locked up, so should that bitch.
Oh, I feel like all of them need to get glass. To be honest,
I can't.
If we locking people up with no proof, then she need to go too.
Okay, we got this no proof shit because we got proof on this nigga. Yeah. Like the nigga.
But I'm talking about after he was. He was tried in that because we cannot. They can't do double jeopardy and we can't either.
But I'm not going. But he got wrongfully acquitted. If we're gonna be 100, he's on tape.
This why I was fucked up with Sparkle. It's kind of like this was when R. Kelly was like, when you say teenage, what do you mean by teenage?
That's a valid question.
No.
Do you mean 18, 19?
What do you mean by teenage? No. I mean somebody whose age ends in teen, motherfucker. It's very distinct.
So he should. But what he should have said was, yes, I do like teenagers, 18 and 19, motherfucker. Yeah. But unless
that shouldn't even be a fucking answer. Should be no. I date grown women. You fucking pervert.
No, but if he wanted to, if it's legal and that's his thing, I'm not saying that it's right. And if that was my family member, I would go on his ass.
So this what threw me off about
Sparkle. It's legal.
This what threw me off about Sparkle when she said, "But I was keeping my eye on her." If you have to keep your eye, if around,
he was reassuring her.
Huh?
Then you shouldn't even have her.
Yeah, like you. If you had, that means you already, which we already knew that she knew his predatory.
Absolutely, she knew.
Where were those
you
eyes
should never have to say that.
Made?
I have to keep my eye. Like that's like
yes.
Hey, I'm gonna let Riley, play with Sean in the living room. But
don't put my daughter in this shit.
Oh, no, he wasn't going to put her on that shit. It's like him saying, I'm going to let her play in the living room with such and such, but nah, I don't, no.
Like, I got to keep my eye on
I don't want to put her in any position where I got to have my eye on it. So
that's
I get the point.
Like that's retarded. It's shit like sweet, but where were those eyes when this tape is getting made? That's the thing that's throwing me off. It's just like Aaliyah's parents. They're like, no, this didn't happen because one of the dancers said that they used to prank each other on the bus and stuff like that, and that she walked in on him having sex with Aaliyah, and her mother was on some, no, we was already always on tour with them, and we was always around, and I'm just like, okay, so where were you when this wedding happened? Because you damn sure missed that motherfucker. So that just, and it's not to shade you because you can't be around your child 24/7. It's not possible.
But however, you can't. But I don't know why the fuck you letting your 14 or 15-year-old be a background singer on a fucking tour.
Oh, don't get me wrong. That's a whole nother point. But I'm just like, you can't surveil your child 24/7. You can't. Yeah. That's why you have to just try to teach them to make good decisions on their own independently. But sweetie, you weren't there when this wedding happened, so obviously you were not watching her 24/7, which is fine. I'm not taking that against you. Just know that there were periods of time where you weren't around because she got married. So it's not far-fetched to say that he was fucking her on a bus.
I want to ask y'all questions.
Go ahead.
Do y'all think that women should report all sexual assault incidents?
Absolutely. I feel like not reporting them is an enabling factor. It's what allows these men to stay free and keep doing it to other people. And I feel like that's what makes me so sad about these girls is that so many grown people failed them. and sold these children sold for money because all of them got all these girls' families and shit is getting paid off.
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't feel like you could put a dollar amount on what happened to my child, because I feel like if you are offering me money, yes, the money would be great. Live it up with the cash, okay? We'll never say nothing about it. But you've damaged my child.
Yes, a lot of the
that's not going to undo the damage. And then 2, you're free to do it to somebody else's child. I would be like, fuck the money. You have to go down for this.
Yeah, because a lot of those parents have blood on their hands by taking those cash settlements.
Exactly.
Because that's why people like, how was he able to last that long? Because of the media and because of these motherfucking parents. You know, you got to care more about your children. So I wanted to ask y'all, what do y'all think should follow this series? Now, they did the documentary. Now, because, and Tariq pointed this out too, it's been a lot of commercials of donate to the Me Too movement, all of this stuff. So they did this, and what should follow? Because it looks like a money grab.
Group fight. And to whoop this nigga's ass.
No, what does that do?
What should follow?
Huh? Like beating him up, like, what would that do?
He needs a nice little, you know.
I don't think he's ever really paid the price for what he's done.
Black people are not going to do shit. This is why. Remember, everybody was saying they was going to kill George Zimmerman?
No, so you're absolutely right. So nothing's going to happen from our community. We should, as a community, I feel like we should go ahead and get rid of this nigga.
Yeah, mute this nigga for real.
We should mute this nigga. But when it comes to, you know, people in, you know, this white society, they're trying to make it a money grab. Because that's what they do. They exploit the Bill Cosby situation. They use these things to exploit, to get money for their causes. You do it all the time. They use something Black Lives Matter. Oh, donate to this, the feminists. Let's donate to this. Da 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 da. Like, they use that for money. What follows this? Because this documentary came out, they know that there's no proof or nothing to actually take it to trial. What is going to follow this?
We got heard, because I think he's broke. He says that the only way he makes his money is touring.
It's touring, right?
Yo,
he's dead. Yeah. That nigga like dead ass.
I don't know how it works, because I'm sure like the arenas. I feel like these major corporations have to take a stand. Mm-hmm. You can't do no show at this arena,
right?
We have
to turn that shit down,
because clearly he is Teflon. So he's not going to jail.
But okay, while I agree with you, these arenas will still book Black acts who perpetuate the death and violence against Black people. Should they be held accountable for that as well?
Yeah, see, this is...
You get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So, because it's like, once you do something, you can't just make it an R. Kelly thing. They use things like that to make it a broad thing, and they can't wait to tell us, oh, no, we're not.
But I'm saying the white artists be saying the same type of shit in their stuff, so I don't feel like that's a hill they can really, decide to die on. But I feel like this is an isolated situation that's gone on far too long, and this nigga just got to be a dub, and it's got to be like a collective dub for everybody. Like, we're not buying your tickets, we're not hosting your shows, we're not entertaining, we're not streaming your shit. But I don't feel like it's ever gonna happen because of them old bitches that's calling him daddy on social media. So
while I do agree that maybe this should be carried as an isolated thing, that's just not how it works. It's not going to be an isolated thing, because that's how things work now.
It's already not isolated, because if you cancel him, you got to cancel such and such, and we looking like, okay, that ain't no problem.
Right. So like I said, you can't draw the line at one place and not the other. So there will be, can 21 Savage not book a show because you get what I'm saying? I'm not singling him out. I'm just saying.
No, that's the problem is, we think because like, oh man, we start looking at other people. No, we can draw the line.
No, right? Because you're when you say that, that's based on principle.
But I feel like 21 Savage or somebody like that with explicit lyrics is kind of a reach. We're talking about a fucking child predator here. I feel like, God damn, where's our line in the sand? No, like, it's one thing. Everybody's trapping in their music. Everybody's got bodies that they never killed before. But this motherfucker is a predator.
These niggas be talking about fucking 5 hoes and they be married with kids. They never done that.
Because there will be it will be hypocritical. Because it would be hypocritical to only do that to molesters and not people who may have murdered someone, who perpetuates the death of a community.
But my thing is, there's a difference between somebody bullshitting and saying they killed somebody. Are you on trial for that murder? Or has it ever come up as like a real issue? Or somebody who in real life is a real life child fucking statutory raping ass predator? I feel like this is a very, very distinct situation versus, Jay-Z and his 92 bricks. Okay, hoes.
But it's not gonna. But see, and that's why that happens in your mind. That's just not how it is in reality.
But I don't feel like the only people that have really been brought up is a whole lot of people who they feel like behave inappropriately with underage girls. We're not hearing like, well, we got to cancel this person because they said shoot him up, bang, bang. I feel like...
let me give you an example. There's a footage that came out of Drake groping and singing to a 17-year-old girl. Mm-hmm. Okay? That is a direct...
Oh, shit, I didn't see that.
That is directly following this R. Kelly situation.
Right.
And more will come. Mm-hmm. So...
Did he know the girl was 17?
But it's...
Who knows?
They said he did. I think that she said how old she was and that he did more shit after the fact. The bottom line is this, though. That is tantamount to what we talking about, though.
I'm not comparing it. I'm just talking about when you say it based on principle.
But it's comparative, though. Mm-hmm. Like, if it's R. Kelly in your predatory acts with underage girls. It's Drake groping an underage girl. That's, like, similar situations. I don't feel like we're going to go so far left to where it's like, oh, well, explicit lyrics become a problem. Let's cancel them. I think it's really going to stay on the par with niggas who've been acting inappropriate with young girls.
I just feel like this, and shout out to someone who told me this that I will not name. I don't think that this should be a Surviving R. Kelly doc from Lifetime. So fuck you, Lifetime, because I think that it should be Surviving Sexual Abuse, and it should be a special on R. Kelly, a special on Kevin Spacey, a special on Harvey Weinstein, and a special on all of these Hollywood people or entertainers or wealthy people, whatever the case, in whatever category I want to put him, R. Kelly in. There's so many white ones to follow, and the list goes on and on. There's even the woman who was a part of the resurgence of who co-opted the Me Too movement from that black woman. She was accused, because there are women who's doing it too, of sexually assaulting an underage white boy. Yes, I forget the woman's name, but she was one of the main ones accused of Harvey Weinstein, who was a young black, young white boy that came out and said, well, I was 17 when we were on the set of a movie and she, had sex with me or whatever. So there's so many people, and it's just so amazing to see how they can get all the money to get together to exploit or to put out R. Kelly and not everyone else. I just don't like the inconsistency. But I'm not saying that R. Kelly shouldn't be put out there.
What was the catalyst for this, though? Like, who championed for this? Because that matters. It's Lifetime, to be honest. So it's like, realistically, it's not like it's fucking.
But it doesn't because there's so many that get swept under the rug that's white.
Right, but what I'm saying is, because this is something that's 20 years in the making. Hold on, as far as what happened. So I want to know who championed to make Surviving R. Kelly, because that matters in the whoever's championing for it. Somebody needs to do the same thing for these other people.
They're not going to.
Maybe not Harvey Weinstein. Now, when Kevin Spacey came out with that shit, he got canceled. They took him off the show immediately.
They took him off the show, but is he on trial?
He's on trial now.
Okay, is he getting a documentary? Is he losing money? You get what I'm saying? Like, is he?
He didn't make I Believe I Can Fly. I don't want to see no documentary on him.
But I think the documentary came more so as a fact that he did get acquitted of this shit and then continue to do it after the fact. It's blatant, it's in our faces, and nothing is being done. And I think that's probably why somebody championed to have that. So if, let's say, Harvey Weinstein, or Kevin Spacey, let's say Kevin Spacey's on trial and he gets convicted of this shit, is it really necessary to have a documentary? No, because you got the end result that you wanted.
And Kevin Spacey was fucking with little boys. People don't care as much about
black women as they do as fucking anybody. But
they don't care about black women, and they don't. First of all, they don't care about putting out the victims of white women or white men if the person who's doing the harming is a white man. But let's be clear.
And I'm not trying to, because now we're putting up so many walls, but I don't think
it's racial. This whole thing is racial.
It's also gender. People don't care about little black boys being molested.
That's so true.
No one can. Anytime, and we talked about this before, like when teachers have sex with, no one cares about that. People, R. Kelly's molested. Okay, yeah, fuck all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Now that should be factored in as far as to know how he. If you want to really what would possess him to do something like that? To understand why is it an excuse? Fuck no. Fuck no. It's not an excuse at all.
It's not surprising to hear, is what it is.
But it is
that he was abused.
Right, because it is good for people to try to understand. Because I'm like, what would even, where does your mind go? Like, you really have a sickness, and the sickness came from his past or whatever, but it doesn't excuse it. But I'm just saying it's sometimes good to be able to put things together.
It gives you some perspective.
And that way you could prevent things from happening in the future by knowing how something started. But, yeah. But I don't like the inconsistency with, you could tell what the media wants to put out there. You could tell, because Bill Cosby's the only one in jail, but there's so many allegations. R. Kelly is the only one with a doc, but so many people that are of other races have proof that even is more relevant in time within the statute of limitations. That's not getting their wealth drained. They're still able to pass their wealth to their family. I don't think there is a
statute of limitations for these types of crimes.
Well, I don't know, but I'm just saying.
I think it is
for with children. I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh, well, I don't know.
I don't know if it's.
We have to do
but
so.
with children, I don't think it is.
Okay.
But I that's why I said it goes back to who championed for this, because I think that matters to a certain degree.
Well, that's because we're talking about network. So who's going to have the clout to put something out there?
About Women Lifetime?
But I'm saying, you think a black, unless the black woman is putting something out about a black man, do you really think if a black woman in Hollywood says, these white, producers and filmmakers did something to me, I need a show.
Shut down.
Do you think they're getting it?
Nope.
No. So it doesn't. Who's championing it? It ain't nobody black, unless it's a black man.
But that's what I'm saying. We have to look into that before we say that definitively, because it's Lifetime.
But does it matter? I
could think this was on NBC or something like that. But this is Lifetime.
But does
Lifetime
it matter who's championing it if they're giving us the content that we need to know too?
What I'm saying is that will give us perspective as far as why we're not getting this for the white counterparts.
I just can guarantee you who it's not. And so, because, when it comes to R. Kelly, like I said, when it comes to a black man or a black woman getting put out there, it could be anybody. But if we're talking about somebody, who is white, who's doing the harming, who's not going to get funding for that, or that's not going to get greenlit.
But then it's also want to know if they asking for it. Shit, them, they like to sweep that shit under the rug. Somebody got to push for it though for us to definitively say it's getting shut down. I haven't looked into it, so I ain't gonna say so much.
What do you think the white corporations' interest is to demonize white men? What do you think their interest is in that? Do you think that they're just so morally great? Because if that was the case, they wouldn't be a really big company. These networks are just not morally great. They're just not what it is.
Well, it depends on who it is. Because like Sean said, when that shit came out with Kevin Spacey, his ass got pulled the fuck immediately. Off a top. But that was a top tier show that he was on. But so did Bill Cosby. But Bill Cosby is sitting in jail. It's a difference. He got pulled from the show, but did his wealth get drained? No.
It's coming.
We'll see. I doubt it, because they take care of their own. White people, they may denounce, he's a monster, he's this and this.
I agree and
but they'll let him.
Like, Kevin got 3 people that came out. 29 women came out like Bill Cosby. You know what I mean?
No, but it wouldn't matter, is what I'm saying.
But his is also another situation that came out over a span of a long amount of time.
And we don't even know. We don't even know.
Care about boys. Kevin Spacey, he wasn't dealing with girls. He was dealing with boys.
We don't know how many people got swept off the internet and swept under the rug. We don't know, because ours is just out there exploited, because they like to put these images on not just the individual, but black men in general. Or black women in general. They love to put us under broad umbrellas of being abusers.
I could agree to that as well. But shit, we ain't helped the cause either, because we damn sure blew that motherfucker up too.
Absolutely. And a lot of stuff, so in the black community, we have to get rid of pedophilia and harming children and harming anybody. A lot of that shit came from slavery. And that's a lot of the origin of it. Some people are sick. Some people need help. Some people need to speak out and realize that it's going to keep happening unless you say something. And we got to get rid of that sick shit out of our community. You know what I'm saying? Period. It doesn't matter who's doing or whatever. That's something that we do have to deal with within our community. But I'm talking about when it comes to Hollywood and all that stuff, I just want there to be more consistency in who gets.
So this is what I want to ask, because I agree with you. Mm-hmm. With so many problems that are going on with the black community, we all know what we should do.
Yeah.
The biggest issue is how. How do you, because don't you think pedophilia is a mental illness? How do you?
I don't think it's a mental illness.
It can be. I do think.
But I mean, to a certain extent,
even
yes,
if it's not. But what is the solution? How do we?
To stopping pedophilia or stopping sweeping it under the rug? I feel one, sweeping it under the rug, it was going to require a whole lot of fucking deprogramming, because a lot of us are programmed. Mm-hmm. Blindly, you know what I'm saying, to do these types of things. And like I said, it's like what I said in my tweet. A lot of these people you're just, don't leave Johnny with the kids, but you don't want to put your folks on blast for what they've done, but you'll have that motherfucker around and expect your child to just deal, and that's what they do. Yeah. So it's a whole lot of deprogramming from shit that has been going on for generations, for one. Two, as far as sweeping that shit under the rug, you need to understand that I don't give a fuck if you blood or not. You violate, your ass gotta go. Gotcha. But as far as honestly, I don't feel like there's any rehabilitation from pedophilia outside of castration. But
you don't think it's a mental illness?
I don't feel like it's something that could be treated, to be honest.
But you do think it's a mental illness, but you don't think it's something that can be treated?
To a certain degree, I can't call it, but I feel like I couldn't tell you. I mean, it might be for somebody to have that type of attraction to children, but I just think that there's no rehabilitating from it.
Okay.
Outside of either chemical or physical castration. But to do that is to remove your entire sexual desire.
But do you think that there are people? I see that. Okay. Do you think that there's people that are attracted to young people, but just don't actually commit the act? Do you think, like, as far as like, because you said it's not a mental illness.
I feel like if they do, it's probably a constant struggle, to be honest, because that's just like you being a grown man, being attracted to women and never acting on it ever in your life. Like,
but that's it. Every woman that
5 minutes.
Every woman that I'm attracted to, I don't have to have sex with. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's true. But no, I'm saying as a whole, though.
Okay.
You're attracted to women and then you never act on it because it's like, okay, you're attracted to children. I don't have to have sex with all of them, but you shouldn't have sex with any of them. So restraining from that is probably a constant struggle.
I can see that. We do have to, maybe we should talk to some like psychologists or something like that. Or if,
that's
or look at, for real. Or to see if, I don't know if there has been a situation, right, that has ever been a situation where somebody did struggle with that and then got better or got to the place where they don't have that anymore by therapy or counseling or something like that. I don't know. So I would have to, look that up. But I don't know. That's a good question because people, I do think it is a mental illness or chemical imbalance or just like
someone's thinking bad thoughts, but they know that they're wrong and they're like.
Or it could come from sexual abuse.
Yeah.
So either sexual abuse or chemical imbalance or mental illness or some of it, a combination of all of those things. But
because some stuff we can't stop, like they say, like, oh, we got to find out how to stop sexual abuse. Like we said, this with
some people
that
are sick.
Yeah, who are comfortable with family members. Are we separating kids from their parents or like uncles? How do we stop that?
And then we have to also, especially in the black community, while we do have that, people don't understand how deep slavery is too. People really negate the fact that there's some sick shit that happened during slavery, whether it was rape from the white slave owners, whether it was slave breeding. Because I looked up slave breeding before. They didn't care if you was mother and son. Cousins. They didn't care. They bred you according to whatever they felt like would breed you. And that could create some chemical imbalance, some fucked up shit.
I never
yes, it wasn't just slave. It wasn't just whips and chains. They did some sick ass shit. So if you were like an
alpha, like maybe like physical male and maybe another strong one. And
exactly.
If they were your family member, they would make
They didn't give a fuck. Yes, they was sick in the fucking head.
Kids come I didn't know that. Retarded as shit. Like
so that happened. Like I said, on
retarded
top of
but dumb strong.
Right, but also not to leave out that, like I said before, the slave owners will rape the men too.
Yeah.
So a lot of that shit, and I'm sure they didn't leave out the children. So a lot of that stuff has been passed, and we have to really look at, some shit that we do, like you said, reprogramming and stuff like that. And I'm not making an excuse.
Oh no, it's not. But we've been blindly programmed for so long,
right.
And a lot of people have these logic and these ideals, and they can't even justify why they feel the way that they feel. They just follow it blindly. They just like, well, it shouldn't be this or that, and you're like, why? And they can't even explain it. They just heard it from somebody who heard it from somebody, and it's been going on in their family for a long time, and they just don't know any better.
Man, we got to stand up to it. You got to hold other niggas are accountable,
absolutely.
Whether they're your friends or family. Because what I've realized is people don't listen to women, but they listen to men.
Yeah.
So like, you really can't when you see a nigga doing some fucked up shit. I know you don't want. It's not my business. It is your business.
Yeah.
I know this whole thing is. I stay out of.
I mind my business.
I hate that. Stop minding your business. You know what I'm saying?
Especially now when you turning a blind eye to some real shit. Like, come on, son. It's one thing to stay out of your man's relationship as far as like, oh, his girl is mad at him or whatever. But if he was putting his hands on shorty as your man's, you need to intervene. You a grown man.
I was downtown the other day, and this couple, they were arguing, and so I was like, man, it's heated. That's not my place. You know what I'm saying? So then I see him like grab her neck. And I was like, and I didn't go over there. I was like, hey, I screamed, like, what's up? And then he released. So I kind of just stayed, I was on my phone. So I was, they walked away. So I just feel like, damn, should I did more? But imagine if I just turned a blind, he might have fucked her up. He's like, all right, this nigga see me, over here, a simple shout out, like, nigga, I see you. That's not cool. You know what I mean?
To close this out, I just wanted to say 2 things. I wanted to address just quickly that meme that people put out with R. Kelly and Hugh Hefner. to say Hugh Hefner and R. Kelly are the same is to not let R. Kelly off the hook. It is to say both of them niggas is sick equally, and one is being revered and one is being, put in the media as a monster. Both of them are monsters if you want to compare the two.
How's Hugh Hefner a monster?
He had young girls, a so-called sex cult. There are women who said that they were abused by him, but that got swept under the rug and stuff like that.
Okay. Were they 18 and above? Because I think
But abuse is abuse.
Absolutely.
I don't know if they were. I don't know or recall them being necessarily underage. So that's a difference between the two. If Hugh Hefner didn't deal with any underage women, but
because I'm not gonna lie.
Say that they didn't want to do threesomes, but they were, made to do or manipulated to do or what different things.
Just being honest. When I saw, the part 1 and the little girls, I'm like, yo, this nigga's sick.
Yeah.
When I saw the part 3 and I was like, yo, you're 36, my empathy wasn't as much but you mean you were manipulated?
I mean, you can still be manipulated at any age.
You can, but did you see that part?
But that's when it goes more towards the abuse side than the statutory side. That's when it kind of segues into abuse. But they said the same thing about Elvis.
Right.
Elvis and Priscilla.
Yeah.
And said she was 16, I think, or something like that.
No, but this is...
And nigga was like...
That's Sam, what I'm saying. That's what that
Sam
meme
Cooke,
should mean. Right.
Marvin Gaye, all these niggas were sick. Were having, sex with Sam Cooke had sex with the Aretha Franklin. Y'all ever heard that Aretha Franklin?
Right. Wasn't she 12 or something like that?
Yeah, so this has been we're talking about canceling people.
That was but that was also the different time. I was talking about my great grandparents. Yeah. But I'm not saying that makes it better. But I'm
not
just
justification,
saying,
right?
Exactly. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So I could kind of see a little bit more leeway versus somebody doing that in 2018, 17, 16, or anything recent where the laws have changed. When the laws change, fucking obey the law. Period.
Facts.
But yes, that and don't defend this nigga. That's just talk. The people who are defending them either two things. Either they're sick in the head too, or they just understand the racial element. But you can still understand the racial element of this and still know that that's a sick ass nigga.
Or they just been programmed to believe that to not see black women as victims.
Yeah, that's true
because of that whole you're being fast narrative has completely voided our opportunity to be victims in situations when we're victimized.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I think that was it. Anything I wanted to say before we close out? I hate to close out on this note because it's just so nasty. It's just a dirty.
Fuck you, R. Kelly.
Right, honestly.
Yeah.
With
Fuck
a
you,
sick
Robert.
dick with spikes on it. You nasty motherfucker.
Yeah. And to all the people who are victims of it, just know that, I sympathize with you.
It's not your fault.
And it's not your fault, period. It's just not. And I hope that, I pray that everybody has healing. I went to church today, so I'm praying.
So
you know what I'm saying?
Can I say something else?
Sure.
Really fast? And when guys, when you're defending R. Kelly, just think about it. You sit next to your girl, she's probably been sexually abused or assaulted in some way.
Yeah.
So she might be uncomfortable or scared to talk. So you're defending the nigga and your girl or your mother, your sister, your coworker, your daughter. Someone has been through it.
Right.
And you're making them sick to their stomach when you're defending them.
Because
everyone's not going to talk about it because some people can't. Some people never will. These are things that women don't want to talk about.
And the victims of abuse don't think that's because someone's recognizing the racial element that they are automatically siding with R. Kelly and niggas like that. That is not the case. It's just not. So, you could just decipher between, different terms or different things people say. Some people are. But there's a lot of people who just understand the bigger picture but they still think that he's a wild ass nigga who needs his ass whipped.
And just finally, men sympathize with these women the way you would if it was a woman in your family. It shouldn't be, your narrative shouldn't be every woman is lying until it's somebody in your family.
Exactly.
Because you wouldn't ask your daughter to prove it. You would take her word for it. You wouldn't tell your mother, your aunt, your sister, your cousin to prove it.
I'm gonna get at you.
You wouldn't say, you're going for blood. So you wouldn't do that. You would give her the benefit of the doubt with no questions asked. So why is every other woman a liar but the women in your family? Like, I don't feel like that's necessarily right.
If somebody because there's a lot of men who've been lied on. So
absolutely, but
I get that. So
but we're not talking about.
I feel like
no, but I'm saying because that can make just like.
But that's the narrative because that gets sensationalized. Though that's the problem when women lie. Oh, it gets blown to the point, and the same men that say why didn't she come forward sooner are the same men who crucify victims when they do come forward.
I think people should come forward, but they don't judge someone for not coming forward really soon. Like but I want you to.
But the thing is,
butcher them when they do come forward. So it's like you see why she didn't come forward because you put yourself on that precipice and you get picked apart by the media, by the masses, and they don't want to come forward.
Unpopular opinion though, just because you might get we need you to come forward.
I know.
Because we do not know who these men are.
Absolutely.
But I know a lot of these, it's not necessarily in this case because a lot of some of these, we knew all this stuff. Right. But in other cases, we don't know. Yeah. We don't know it. Like, you could be chilling with your boy all the time and don't know that, he's doing some, right? There has to be some type of vessel to know to relay this information. Sure. I mean,
we do, but it's like I can't tell you because it's never happened to me to that extent to where I could understand why these women sometimes want to just put it in a place where they don't have to deal with it because it's tormenting them. So I'm never going to tell you, oh, nah, you wrong for coming out 20 years later, you're a liar. No, I'm not going to say that because I don't know what mental anguish you suffered as a result of this, and I think that people need not pick women apart for coming out 20 years later because if your folks told you 20 years from now that they got R. Kelly'd, you're not going to give a fuck about none of that.
And celebrities and black celebrities, when they go hard on these white dudes, do the same fucking thing because a lot of you niggas and a lot of you women in entertainment and men in entertainment knew about this nigga. Y'all work with this nigga. Y'all saw shit and y'all just now coming out. Why? Because Lifetime told you that it's okay. Yeah. And white people are telling you this is what we're doing now. Clout. So I don't fucking respect none of that shit from people who've been in the entertainment industry for years.
Facts.
I don't. Yeah.
Now that's a nice note, Dando.
Yes.
Fuck y'all too.
Yeah, so to be honest.
So all the people that have worked did collabs with R. Kelly? What you think?
If you knew, because you never know. Certain collabs, he might have just been in there, boom, real quick for an hour. I'm not saying everybody who's encountered him, but if you knew, a Jada Pinkett Smith knew.
She knew?
Tank knew, because she spoke out on it. Come on. I mean, let's be honest. Tank who's probably worked or know people who've worked closely, you've heard way more in-depth shit than Lifetime put out.
So damn.
And that you're doing it now is kind of like fluke.
Trendy.
Like, you know?
It's like it's trendy.
Yeah, you don't feel this strong about it today. Come on, my nigga. You've been in the industry for 20 years. I'm not saying cancel him. I'm just saying recognize what the fuck is going on.
She's really doing that right now.
Yeah. But yeah, thank y'all so much for listening. Thank y'all so much for watching.
Low down dirty shame.
Yeah. Thank y'all so much. We will see y'all next time on No Disclaimers Podcast. Happy New Year.